What's going on, my people? Welcome to another episode of the GBL podcast, where every day we progressing and every L is a lesson. I want to thank you guys for tuning in once again. I want to also thank everyone who tuned in to the last episode. I thank you guys for all of the feedback that you were giving, and also I appreciate the some of the perspectives that you guys were giving on some of the topics we talked about. I appreciate that as well. I hope that you guys continue to enjoy this podcast and we can just grow this thing together and just grow together. Period. Um, my thing with the podcast, I want to keep it like conversation based. So a lot of times you'll see me bring up topics and just go on the spot how I feel because I don't want to, you know what I mean. I want to just keep it like we kicking it. We just having a conversation. It's just on cam. But some topics I will, you know what I mean, give a little bit more thought to instead of just going right off the hip. So you may hear me say that I'll touch on it on another episode, and that's just because I just want to think on it a little more. You know, I don't want to just get on here and just say anything at the same time. So yeah, because I definitely think last episode we had we covered some very dope topics, and watching it myself, watching it back, I was like, man, it was sparking ideas, and you know what I mean, just other takes on the topic. So yeah, like I said, in upcoming episodes I have guests so we can get into it more and we can get other perspectives other than just mine. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into it. A word that's been on my mind this week has been consistency. For some reason, this word has just been on my mind heavy. And I just wanted to bring this word up because when I think of consistency, of other than the continuation of something, it's like just you gotta stay consistent at whatever you're doing. A lot of times in life we often start something and then we stop. You know what I mean? We lose motivation for it or just circumstances happen and we had to stop something. But I was thinking like, man, if you just continue to do something, whatever it is, like you continue to do it, you're gonna start to see some kind of outcome from it. You know what I mean? And a lot of times we don't necessarily see the outcome, or we're not where we want to be at with doing certain things in life, and we just stop. But what happens if we just keep going, man? We just keep staying at it. I had to, like, when I think of consistency also with myself in music, man, a lot of times I have to remind myself, like, bro, just stay consistent. Just keep doing it, man. This is your passion. Keep doing it. And you will start to see progress, because a lot of times, man, you have those down moments where you just like, man, I want to throw in the towel because I've been doing it for so long that I'm not seeing anything from it. You know what I mean? But sometimes too, you got to step back and say, let me think about the stuff that I have seen from it. Even if it's a minor steps, you know what I mean? To us, those steps are minor, but then to somebody else, those steps could be huge. And like, you know what I mean? So I just think it's important that when we get down, whatever you doing in life, you get down on yourself, man, just think of consistency. You know what I mean? If that helps, just think of consistency and just keep going. Don't stop. Cause it's gonna be those moments where it's just like, bro, I'm done. I'm done. You know what I mean? I tell myself all the time, like, man, like, you know what I mean? I just want to throw in the towel, but then I just gotta realize, like, stay consistent. You know what I mean? Just stay consistent. So yeah, I don't mean to go too in depth on it, but that's just been a word that's been on my mind. So I just wanted to pass it along for anyone who needed to hear that. So yeah, let's get into it, man. Last week, for everyone who tuned in, of course, you know, we one of the topics that we discussed was how can we progress as Black people. And doing a little bit more thinking, the idea that came to my mind of how we can progress was value, like valuing ourselves like other races do. You know what I mean? Like, we have to value ourselves to a point that when we think of like just Black and just the Black culture, period, like Black people and Black culture, we think of it at the highest regard. You know what I mean? A lot of times when it comes to like businesses and brands and you know what I mean, whatever the case, if it's other races, we always think that is the standard. When I get money, man, I gotta go shop at this brand. When I get money, I gotta move in this neighborhood. Excuse me. And a lot of times when we do this, we putting value on these other races and other cultures, and we, you know what I mean, we belittling our race, and we have to stop doing that. So when I say we need to value ourselves more, over time, yes, it has to grow when it comes to things like black business. Because when we talk about black businesses, sometimes we'll joke like, man, yeah, black business is cool, but the customer service is or yeah, it's cool, but this is But if we support those black businesses, then they starting to get enough revenue to invest in the things that we're saying is a little skeptical. So it goes along with supporting each other more. It goes along with just, you know what I mean, being positive, uplifting each other in the black community as well. But all of that goes hand in hand with just valuing like each other more, man. We just have to value the black life, the black culture. We have to value just blackness and be proud of it. So has been on my mind. Just like, man, if we just value each other more, like, bruh, like, I feel like something that we need to do when we start coming up on money, man, instead of moving into these other communities where we're not welcome most of the time, let's start building our own black gated communities. If that's gonna be the standard for when you get money, instead of moving to Calabasas and all of these fancy neighborhoods in LA or the New Jersey, like all of these nice areas, don't get me wrong, if you want to do that, no judgment. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm saying at the same time, to start having our own value and start looking at ourselves like, man, I could be around my people. Because essentially, that's what it all comes down to. When we get money, we think we have to move away because that's what a value is. But if we start putting that value on each other, man, I feel like it'll make a lot of things better. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to go too, you know what I mean? I don't want to keep rambling on it, but value, man. We just need to value each other and value blackness. That's one of my ideas. So yeah. Also, one of the topics we talked about were last episode was just the whole tension between police and black people. Period. I did some thinking also, and I was thinking like, what's a way to ease this tension, man? And I thought of it. I said, you know what? If the police had programs to where they participated in the communities. Now, of course, there's gonna be the police who don't want to participate in these programs, and if they don't, cool, we don't need you. But for the ones that say, you know what, maybe there is something that I just don't understand about black people and the black communities and just, you know what I mean, minorities in general. So let me participate in the program. That program could be either on Saturdays or whatever days. You just pull up to a park where it's black people or minorities and you just have conversations with them. You know what I mean? Do cookouts, participate in, after school programs with these kids or just the community in general. That way it becomes a relationship that's developed to where you interacting with these minorities and these communities on a day-to-day basis, to where you're not just coming off with aggression when there's actual tense situations and, you know what I mean, matters that you have to get into that role, get into that role of your occupation. So I feel like with that being said, man, if we can make this happen to where police have to do, it's not no question about like this is something that needs to happen. You know what I mean? Like there needs to be programs so where these police participate and they, you know what I mean, they're getting a better understanding. Now we don't want to beg them. You know what I mean? If they don't want to have that understanding, that's cool. Don't assign them to our neighborhoods. But for the ones who are just on the fence, like, man, maybe that's something I can't understand. We need to have some kind of programs for these police officers, man. And I feel like that's a way that, you know what I mean, can ease some of the tension. It'll ease it. We'll start to feel more comfortable with them, and they'll be more comfortable with us. Because fear, when you think of fear is the unknown. You fear what you don't know or you're not familiar with. You know what I mean? So that defeats a lot of that right there. Not saying it's gonna stop not saying it's gonna stop everything, because you're gonna have those ones and you're gonna have those situations where things happen. But we have to do our part and just make sure that we all have some kind of understanding. Without any understanding, we're gonna continue to experience these situations. So I just wanted to bring that up, man. Like I think programs for police officers and just these minority communities could ease that tension. So yeah, another thing I wanted to discuss was watching what we deem cool as black people and in black culture period. um when you think of it, a lot of times we glorify things as, you know what I mean, the people who's in the streets. We glorify, oh, you went to jail, or you cool, bro, you got, you know what I mean, or like killing, like period, like we just, all of the wrong things. A lot of times we value, um we glorify in the black community. So I just wanted to say we have to stop that. You know what I mean? Now, when it comes to street life, it gets a little tricky, because I understand that there's certain people who are born into situations where you have to make ends meet. You have to put food on the table. You have to provide at young ages, especially like in the black community, man. It's somebody, it's a kid right now who's probably like 7 or 8 who got to get involved with the streets because he was born in a situation, or she was born in a situation where they if they ain't got no bread, bro, they ain't eating. You know what I mean? And for those people, I'm not saying that, because although we do need to get better, so that that's not an option for them. Um, I just like, man, I'm just saying, like, for the people who deem these certain things as cool, not from an aspect of, man, I have to do this to eat. Like most of the time, the people who doing it, like, man, I got to do this to eat, to survive. They not glorifying it. But for the ones who are, and you don't even have to do that, but you choose to do that, and then try to spin it around like this is cool, this is what you should do, or this is just a, you know what I mean? You trying to, you doing it for the lifestyle and not for what it was actually originated from, which is to make some bread. And I'm talking about street life. You know what I mean? And I try to not speak on this as much because I'm not in the streets, you know what I mean? But I grew up around it, grew up basically in it for a large amount of my childhood. So I know I've seen certain things and witnessed certain things, but that doesn't make it right. And I just feel like if we got better at certain things as a country, as a government, people wouldn't have to even explore these options. So I just wanted to say that we just gotta watch what we deem is cool, and for us who know what's right, man, and we know that if you ain't gotta live that lifestyle and you trying to deem that is cool, we gotta start holding those people accountable. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you gotta cut that out, because these kids and the youth, they're looking at these things and thinking that that's the way, when it's like, nah, man, the way is, you know what I mean, it's not that. That's all I can say. It's not that. And we just gotta stop deeming the things that's not getting us nowhere as cool, man. You know what I mean? And I'm not coming from a place of saying, like, man, like, I've never done it myself, because when I was younger, you know what I mean, I deemed certain things as cool, like, oh, this is what's hot, oh, this is what we supposed to be on, oh, let me do it too, or, oh yeah, let me look at this that way too, because this is what, you know what I mean, you're around it, you think it becomes the norm. When you're around things so much, it becomes the norm. So I gotta hold myself accountable as that too. When it comes to what I watch, what I listen to, who I listen to, who I'm around, these certain things, man, it all plays a part of our perspective on certain things. So when I say watching what we deem is cool, it's not just one particular group that this applies to. It's all of us. We have to watch what we deem is cool, man, because a lot of times cool is often the easier route than what's right. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to put that out there. Yeah, so another thing that I wanted to get into is, when I thought about how can we progress as black people again, we need black prosecutors. We need black judges. We need black attorneys. these positions are elected positions. So when I talked about voting last episode, like I had to go do some research. Like, man, let me read, because these are terms that I always heard. Uh, DA, prosecutors. I'm just like, bro, you hear words so much, but you have an idea of what it means, but you don't fully know. So I went and looked it up. And yeah, so we can just go over it. Like, for those who don't know, I'm pretty sure there's some who know and some who may not know. Yeah, so the definition for prosecutor: a person, especially a public official, who institutes legal proceedings against someone. So, man, that in a nutshell, like, with that being said, that is a important position to be held. And I wanted to bring this up because a lot of times, what are we known for? Like, what did they try to make us out to be as black people? Oh, y'all good at sports. Y'all good at music, entertainment in general. You guys are only good at these things. So, as a kid, we start looking at it like, man, these are the things that we have to do. So I wanted to bring this up to say we need these positions. And why I brought up the point of it being elected positions is because back to how we was discussing voting locally. These are elected positions, man. So if we can get, of course, all skin folk ain't your kinfolk. But if we come across the good black people who are in these positions or running for these positions, and we do our due diligence, we do our research, and we make sure that they have good motives, and make sure that they're actually trying to stand on that what they're preaching to us and what they're saying their campaign is about. We need to get these people in office. So also to the younger kids out there who may be watching this, being a judge, being a prosecutor, being a attorney, these positions is something that you guys need to look into. Because they play a pivotal role in the justice system. A lot of times as blacks, we get up there in front of other races in these same positions that we're talking about, and they have no empathy for us. They have no understanding. Back to the word understanding. That'll be a big word for this podcast, understanding. Yeah, they have no understanding, no empathy for us. So when we get in front of them, of course, they just send them to prison. Oh, the police just killed this innocent black unarmed person. Oh, not guilty, because they're only doing what they deem is right. So we got more of us in these positions. What do you think is going to happen? There's going to start to be a change as long as we elect the right ones. Like I say, all skin folk ain't your kinfolk. And just because a person is black don't mean that they're going to get in there and do what's right. So we have to always do our research. So with that being said, like I said, man, these are positions that as young kids, we need to start preaching like to our young kids, like, hey, don't be afraid to want to be a prosecutor, a judge, an attorney, a lawyer, because these are also ways that we can progress as black people. So that's basically what I just wanted to bring up. It's another way that I feel like we can progress. So yeah, that is vital. So yeah, another topic to anyone who likes sports, football in particular. I'm pretty sure you guys, you seen the whole thing about Brees and his statement on the flag. Of course, in the background, you see I got my New Orleans Saints. I got it up. So anybody who knows me, man, knows I'm a huge diehard. I'm a diehard Saints fan, man. So seeing this was definitely, it hurt me. It still stings. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to approach it going into this upcoming season. And Drew Brees' statement, to summarize it, was, you know what I mean, he didn't particularly agree with the protests and the kneeling for the flag because his grandfather fought in the war. And that was just a slap in the face to me. In my opinion, a lot of black people, we were offended by that. But to me, it was a slap in the face because it's like, yo, like, we didn't even ask you, like, we didn't ask you, bro. Like, before you to come out and just say that, it was just like You know, I just did. It was just like, bro, you should have just kept that to yourself. If that's really how you feel. And I mean, it's not surprising because I can't really just get. I ain't gonna say I can't get mad. I was pretty mad and still am. Um, but I feel like when it comes to this, Drew Brees just don't. He didn't have any. He don't have it. He doesn't have the information and the understanding, and he's not educated. And I won't say he doesn't have the information because it's out here. You know what I mean? You can easily go do your research. It's out here. So how do you not know? Like, I don't know, man. Just the statement to itself was just it bothered me, man. And I just want to speak on it because it's just like when people talk about this flag, right? America's flag. You know what I mean? It represents this and it represents the free and man, like all of that is rhetoric. Like this flag doesn't represent anything good. And there's no disrespect to the soldiers who put their lives on the line to protect this country. But we do have to address the matters at hand in this country before we start trying to preach for us to praise this flag. If you're a minority, then you know that this flag doesn't represent us. And to Drew Brees, man, do you not realize, like, white people weren't the only ones who were fighting in these wars? You know what I mean? The black people had to fight in these wars and then come back home and face segregation. You know what I mean? Like, had to come back and face these conditions that weren't fair to us. So how do you expect us to look at a flag the same way that you look at it, man? Like that's what not even just Drew Brees, but people who praise this flag like it's just like everybody is supposed to feel the same way about it. We don't. We don't feel the same way about this flag as you guys because we've been treated a certain way in this country forever. You know what I mean? And our people fought in this country too. So to try to say it like that, it's like you downplaying us as black people. Like we didn't fight in those wars as well. So I just feel like it was just very, I was just very bothered by that when he said it. You know what I mean? But at the same point, I don't want to just be so super, just looking at it from like, oh, Drew Brees, you made that mistake and I hate you. I don't want to support you. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to do that, man. I'm over just people making mistakes and we just all condemning them and you know what I mean? We just viewing him as a bad person. Like I'm over that. You know what I mean? Like he like back to what we was when we were discussing that if you brought up a certain way, man, that's just your way of thinking and you're not gonna see that. You're not gonna see no other way and if you're not trying to. So I just think that's what this case is. Like Drew Brees just said how he was brought up, man, and that's just how he felt. But to Drew Brees, man, you have to realize, bro, you are in a predominantly black city to where black people are rooting for you. Most of the records that you hold have been, if I'm not mistaken, and I've watched a lot of Saints games in my days, man. Drew Brees, I think a lot of the records that you have were, you know what I mean, with help from black people. So I'm just saying, like, man, that statement was very ignorant, and not only that, for you to double back and you know what I mean to try to clean it up with a black and white hand, a picture of a black and white hand, like, bro, like, come on, man, like, Drew Brees, brother, I just pray that you come to an understanding of realizing that this flag isn't everything that you guys make it to be. And that until we get justice and until we feel like we're treated as equal and we see equality as well, we're going to continue to feel the way that we feel. And we're not going to praise this flag. You know what I mean? So if you feel a certain way about it, then, hey, deal with it. Don't, you feel free to ask for a trade because we're tired of begging other races, man, to understand us and hear us out and see us as human beings. You know what I mean? So that's just my take on it. You know what I mean? I'm still bothered by it. I don't know how to feel if he's still going to be the starting quarterback for us. I'm not sure how to feel about it. I'm not sure if I even want to watch it because it's just you can't just keep slapping us in the face, man, and expecting us to You know what I mean? Just to say, oh, he doesn't know, or you know what I mean? It's getting ridiculous, man. So yeah, another topic that I wanted to get into, also cancel culture. Before I get into the next topic, cancel culture. A lot of times people will make mistakes, and you know what I mean. Everybody jump on and be like, cancel them, cancel them. Man, we gotta like, bro. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, man. Like certain people get killed for like the old tweets that they put out. You know what I mean? People grow. People grow every day. So speaking on cancel culture, man, stop being so quick to cancel somebody. Like, how do you cancel somebody? You know what I mean? Like, people make mistakes, bro. Like, cancel culture is just so annoying to me. Like, people will do the like, or say something, or you know what I mean, do something, and everybody cancel them, cancel them, cancel them. It's like, bro, these same people saying cancel somebody is the same people who doing Lord knows what. You know what I mean? But you so quick to cancel this other person. You know what I mean? So it's just like, bro, stop having so much judgment. I'm just speaking to the cancel culture, period. We all make mistakes. Of course, there's some things that we all gonna have our opinions about, and we just like, bro, I'm not rocking with dude no more. I'm not rocking with shorty no more. Like, and that's cool if you feel that way. But for to get out here and just be like, cancel this person, it's like, bro, like, if you ain't gonna rock with the person no more, just don't rock with them no more. Like, let that be that. So I just wanted to say that as far as cancel culture. Period. That's just something that I was thinking about too. So yeah, another topic we can discuss is black love. Man, black love is very important. I don't I don't think that you can really, when it comes to love, period, I don't, man, do what makes you happy. I've never been that person who say, man, you black, so you gotta date black. Or you this color, you gotta date. Man, that's so whack to me. I feel like love is love, man. Love who you wanna love. But I do feel that in particular, black love is important. It is important for us to value our black queens. Same vice versa, same way around. I feel like by doing that, it plays a part to the topic that I spoke on earlier as far as us valuing each other. Like, black love, man, if say for instance, like you see your mother and father, they're married and they've sustained a long marriage for so many years. You getting to witness what that black love really is. And it becomes a standard. Like, man, I want this for myself. Now, I don't mean to contradict myself when I say that becomes the standard by saying that you just have to date black. But what I am saying is you get the image and you get to see it up front in person. Like, man, this is what black love is. I see two black people valuing each other so much. You know what I mean? And they to the point they sustain a marriage, a courtship to where it's just like, man, they love each other to the most, and they value each other at the most high level. You know what I mean? That level can be just to you, not you know what I mean, everybody else's view on it. You know what I mean? But that's what I think when I think of black love, and is it important? I definitely think it's important. So I just think that as blacks we need to love each other, you know what I mean? All across the boards. But I am not sitting up here saying that you just have to date black. Do what makes you happy. But for those whose preference is black, I feel like it's important. You know what I mean? And we definitely have to keep putting that out there. That black love, man, it's nothing like it. And we have to strive to, you know what I mean, just to keep that love going. You know what I mean? All across the boards, like I said. So yeah. I wanted to lighten it up a little bit and talk about a topic that was brought to me was what's the disconnect between the older generation and the younger generation? Because oftentimes it seems like there's a lot of tension. My idea, my thought on this is why there's a lot of tension is understanding. Once again, understanding. And a lot of times with older generations, you'll hear them like condemn the stuff that we own at the moment. So like, you know what I mean, from the way that we dress. Oh man, y'all wearing skinny this, skinny that. Or y'all listen to this, or y'all call that rap, y'all call that music, or y'all call that cool. And it's always like like, God, y'all always beating up on us, man. Like, I'm speaking from a young guy's perspective first, and then I'm gonna get into it some more. But when I think about why there's a lot of tension a lot of times, it's because, like, bro, nobody wants to constantly hear somebody else bashing them for what they're on or what they deem is cool or what they, you know what I mean, what they're interested in. And a lot of times as older folks, you guys always come at us from not I'm trying to put you on game or teach you guys, but from, oh, that's whack to me. And that's it. Like, that's whack. This is what I'm on. You don't know nothing about this. Woo, woo. And it's like, bro, that gets annoying after a certain point. So at a certain while, the younger generation starts to look at the older generation like, bro, y'all just, like, y'all so out of touch. Like, y'all don't want to be interested in the things that we're interested in. And even if you're not interested in it, at least say, don't always come at us from an aspect of that's what y'all own or that's what y'all think is cool. Like, oh, that's what y'all, okay, it'll change. You know what I mean? Change is cool. Like, you know what I mean? I can see how back in the day I probably would have rocked with it. But don't just come on us and beat our head in like, man, y'all think that's cool? And that's why I feel like it's a lot of tension. No matter whatever it is, the older generation has to do a better job of coming at us from a teaching aspect and not just like, bro, like, this is the way or no way. You know what I mean? And I just feel like at the same time as the younger generation, we can't be sensitive either and just be like, oh my God, they always just, you know what I mean? We have to also do a better job of receiving that information. So I feel like a lot of times to ease the attention, man, the younger generation, I feel like, in my opinion, this is how I feel. I would feel better with the older generation just having an understanding and just coming at us from a, man, oh, y'all probably missed some of this music or y'all probably missed some of these things that were going on in our day. Let me put you on, rather than coming at you with this is what it is, and if you don't know nothing about this, then you can't talk to me, because that becomes like, bro, is the disconnect gap becomes so huge that it's like we ain't even trying to bridge it. You know what I mean? We're not even trying to bridge that gap because it's just like we got this picture of you guys in our mind, like y'all just always, you know what I mean, just bashing us for you know what I mean, what we own at the moment. And I just feel like I said, the younger generation, we do have to have those conversations with you guys, like, man, you know what I mean, teach us. We may not know everything. Show us. You know what I mean? Just put us on game. Like, we have to at the same time be disciplined enough to be receptive to that information. You know what I mean? But both generations have to do a better job at communicating and being welcoming to what the other generation is on and what the other generation thinks, you know what I mean, is good. You know what I mean? Because the older generation, you guys have ideas that we should hear and that y'all should teach us, vice versa. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's just a gap, and we can easily bridge it with communication and understanding. And that's just my idea on it. Of course, I'll think on it some more, and because I definitely feel like there's a lot of ways that the gap can be, you know what I mean, closed in when it comes to the younger generation and the older generation. I just feel like we just have to stop viewing each other as, you don't know nothing. You know what I mean? You don't know. You out of touch, or, you know what I mean? Boy, this is way before your time. Girl, this is way before your time. You don't know nothing about, you know what I mean? Put us on. Put us on instead of always coming at us from that aspect of it. So I just wanted to say, I feel like that's one way that we can bridge the gap, and that's the reason for a lot of the tension. It's just misunderstanding, and, you know what I mean? Yeah. All right, I'm really just trying to, I rambled a little bit just because I really wanted to really just get into it and really just see what it was with the tension. But I'm gonna have to think on that some more, man, and touch on it again. Okay, another topic. One second, let me get a little swig of this water real quick. Yeah, so another topic. Is it more beneficial for upcoming artists to be independent or sign with a label? Oh, man, I feel like as an upcoming artist, it is so hard to break in the game as in terms of as in terms of finances and financial, you know what I mean, just the finances side of things, because you need to do things, especially marketing. Marketing is a big part of, you know what I mean, when it comes to artists trying to get your name out there. um you know what I mean, it's so hard, man. But I feel like it's beneficial with labels when it comes to the markets and the resources that they have, because within the push of the button you can have an interview at a big radio station from a label, you know what I mean, with their help. Your songs can be on the radio. They can get you certain shows. It's endless reasons why, as an independent artist, you would want to sign with a label just off finances alone. But you know what I mean, it's definitely beneficial, as if you kind of got leverage going and blowing up. Like, you got a fan base, you already got merch, you got, excuse me, you got shows that you've been doing. So it's like, excuse me, it's like you already got a mini label going into it, so you got leverage. I feel like that's when it's beneficial as an independent art, as being independent, because you're not solely relying on the label to do all of that work and the groundwork. But the labels, I feel like, are important when it comes to, sometimes, man, you don't got no bread, but you got all the talent in the world. You just don't have bread at that moment. I feel like that's when the labels are important. But I definitely feel like you should try at least to go in to that point of even negotiating with labels, having leverage, because you can get the better deal rather than them just, hey, you don't have anything, so we have all the resources, we have the bread, so you do what we say. And that's when you get the bad deals, because you made a sign that deal when you were broke and didn't have anything, but then you make that one song that pop, and now you stuck in that deal that you signed before that song pop. So you have to, you know what I mean, you gotta get them lawyers involved. You gotta go through all this madness just to do what you want to do and maneuver the way that's best for you as an artist. So I just feel like it's just business. Like, it's just business, man. And it definitely some games that the label can help you with. But I also feel like if you get a solid team and you really just do your research and do what you have to do as an independent artist, that's definitely a side of that too. You know what I mean? Because you may be an artist who just wanna do the music. That's it. You don't want to get into the business side of things. And if you that type of artist, then you may want to go get you a label deal. But if you're an artist, like, great examples like Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. Um, who's another great example? Man, it's a lot of examples that I really just can't think of right now. But Nipsey, I know early on he was moving independent. I think before he passed, he had got into a deal with Atlantic. But yeah, like, if you that artist who can get in them streets and maneuver like that and do what you gotta do to you know what I mean, get a little leverage, get fan base and stuff like that, then that's definitely, independent writers are definitely a good choice. So yeah, I feel like that'll sum that up with that. Um so yeah, we started to reach the end of this episode. Another topic before I close I wanted to talk about is anxiety and depression and fear. Um I'm someone who deals with anxiety and depression a lot. Man, and I just want to say, as in terms pertaining to this, that it's okay to not be okay sometimes. A lot of times we think that we just have to have it all together all the time, and that, you know what I mean, we judging our lives of other people's lives because other people seem happy, and we feel like, man, like, we need to be on those same levels. But everybody has a struggle. Everybody goes through things. And I just wanted to tell anyone out there that's struggling, man, with just anxiety and depression, or just struggling with their mental health period, that it's okay to not be okay. Seek some guidance, man. Seek some help. Don't let your pride, you know what I mean, ruin you. And the same thing that I'm telling you guys is the same thing that I'm trying to, you know what I mean, practice myself is finding ways to release these emotions and these feelings inside of us, because a lot of times we just holding it in. So I just wanted to say, man, that anxiety and depression, if you're going through it, you're not alone. I go through it often, man, like a lot, like basically every day. There's times where I feel great and I'm just in the best space ever, and then the next week it's just like, man, I feel so down. I can't get out of the rut. But something that's been helping me is definitely God, praying, um, getting up, doing things, you know what I mean, trying to keep your mind busy. And whether you just go for a run, go for a walk, go for a bike ride, you know what I mean, you have to do these things to feel better. And I just wanted to say, keep your head up, man. So anybody who out there who's going through it, going through these emotions, it's okay. None of us is perfect. I don't care what you see on social media. I don't care what people tell you. Everybody struggles with something. And even if, to the ones who are in great spaces mentally, spiritually, and whatever the case is, that you could probably have a conversation with them and they could tell you the times where they were down and how they maneuver. So I just feel like, to anyone who's going through it, like I said, man, keep your head up, develop your own relationship with God, um, get away from bad energy, people that don't want to see you elevate and prosper, and whatever you do, get away from them. If you have to be to yourself, do that. There's nothing wrong with it. But also know when, like, okay, you got to put some kind of effort into trying to feel better, and trying to, you know what I mean, do your part to meet God halfway, or whatever you believe in, you know what I mean. Just try to put some effort in to make yourself feel better, and just don't sit there with the energy that you're experiencing. But it's definitely not easy, but it's definitely not impossible. So with that being said, keep y'all heads up. All love. I appreciate everybody that's been supporting me. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Like I say, I hope you guys continue to support. We're gonna keep growing and keep trying to just grow this thing to the next level.